Now, the last time I talked about Partners in Time, not counting the stupidest video I have ever made on my channel, I talked about the stats and ranking them. Now, there's no correlation from that video to this one, but before that video, I made the 3 worst things about Partners in Time, and I never bothered to make the top 3 best. Now, just like the worst, we're gonna be having this general criteria of the game, not a specific thing about it. So, other than that, we have a special guest for this video, but you'll see him a little bit later. But other than that, let's get started. Number 1. I just want to say quickly that there isn't actually an order between out of these 3, like which one's the best, because I didn't really care to rank them, and also I'm lazy. But the first thing that we are going to talk about is something that only Partners in Time does really well, and that's the atmosphere. For the atmosphere, there's 2 really good examples that I can do and just say and never be wrong about it. And these are not the only 2 things that actually happen in the game. But first things first, we have Toad Town. The thing you see on screen, the area. And you guys know my love for Toad Town. I praised it in a couple of videos now, and I'm not going to be stopping. It's just that the atmosphere and the music combine it to make it just a really depressing and sad area. And that's what makes it stand out from every other area. Now, yes, there is places like Toadwood Forest where you see the toads getting their vim sucked out of them, which is pretty scary, don't get me wrong. And also Holly Jolly Village where you do actually see the destruction happen. But Toad Town just does it best. And yeah, it's one of my favorite areas in the game. You guys know this. My first ever video basically was praising Toad Town for a ton of it. But the other thing is my number 1 for my darkest moments in Partners in Time, and that's Toadsworth talking to Baby Peach. There's nothing in music, the screen's just gray and black, all you see is the text, and it just goes and just lets your brain just set in to this really sad moment that's just gonna come up. After all that is explained, you see Toad Town getting destroyed by the UFOs. And yeah, it's just a moment that just lets you set in. And again, after 6 times of playing the game, I still feel all this stuff. That's a really good thing about this game. So number 2 is...
Hey guys, Renwel here.
Well, my video just got invaded.
Mario & Luigi Partners in Time for some people is the black sheep of the series, but for me it's a fine sequel. I'm here to say that this game is quite great. The story is really good, but I really love the gameplay of Partners in Crime. I mean Time.
I mean, Mario has abilities that let him out of jail, so it is probably Partners in Crime.
The gameplay for Mario & Luigi Partners in Time is very good in that it makes use of Mario & Luigi basically having 2 smaller counterparts. In the field, puzzles need to be solved using a combination of skills that both the older and younger bros have. While Mario & Luigi can chuck the babies to higher levels or even into tree stumps, the babies can activate switches or control platforms in order to help Mario and Luigi get to where they need to be. Warp blocks are used to fetch either group back to the ones that hit the block. In battle, if Mario and Luigi faint, the babies take their place, having weaker stats but still putting up a good fight. They also allow the bros to double jump onto enemies as well as strengthen their hammer attacks. Partners in Time might have a bad reputation being referred to the worst of the series, but it's really one of my favorite. I can even say that it's better than Paper Jam. Yes, I said it.
Are you kidding me? Partners in Time is way better than Paper Jam. But thank you for Renwelpando for collaborating with me. His channel is going to be linked in the description, and if you want to collaborate with me, add me on Discord and we could talk about something that we would do. Number 2. Number 2 is something that actually shot up on my opinion list just because of a video that I did pretty recently, and that's the abilities in this game. Now, last video, I ranked the 1,000 Year Door abilities in that game, and then I compared it to Partners in Time, and these abilities are just so much better than I thought before. And there's 2 just amazing abilities in this game. One that's super useful, and one that is so exhilarating to use. Let's go with the fun one first. And it's the Bros Ball. I love using the Bros Ball. Now, again, the only negative is that you have to only have the Bros while using it, which does suck. But it offers some of the only mini games in Partners in Time, which is just amazing. It's so fun just zooming around with it and just getting timed. It's kind of like a Mario Kart race, but less obstacles. And some people don't like that it's artificial. In my opinion, that's actually what makes it unique to any other ability. But, again, just look at my ability ranking and just see me praise this. The other one is the baby drill. It's so useful in the game because you have to get beans and you have to cross under gaps. And that's obviously very useful. What do you really expect? And it's the better ability that the babies use. So, yeah. Again, I made a video on it. Check it out if you haven't already. But if you have, you know I really do love these abilities. Number 3. You hear the music. It's time to talk about these bosses. Aside from one boss in the game, these bosses range from okay to amazing. And that's such a good thing for this game because that means it averages to a great boss. And the only bad boss in this game is Kamek, but not because he's infuriating, but just because he's way too easy. And I realize this because I am replaying Dream Team right now, and there's definitely some infuriating bosses in there, which it's not fun to just continue going, and it definitely ruins some places for me, which is definitely sad. But the bosses in this game, none of them are horrible or infuriating, which definitely makes it a really easy way to replay the game. And we haven't even talked about the really good bosses. Now, obviously we have the final boss, my username, and yes, I still think it's the best boss in the game. There's no doubt about it. You having to dodge 3 attacks in a row is obviously an amazing thing. It's not an easy boss, it has a lot of health, but not just counting the final boss, there's also 2 bosses that I really want to talk about, and that's the Commander Shroob and the Elder Shroob Boy. The Commander Shroob has a really good mustache. And he has a really big bomb. And you have to knock the bomb to him, and if you knock it, then he actually comes out into the battlefield so you can actually damage him. But before that, you can't even hurt him at all. But the Elder Shroob Boy, oh my god, that boss is intense because when you defeat him, like before, the only concept is that he has a spiky helmet, and that's not very interesting. But once you damage him enough, then he grows huge, and one of the big UFOs just get out, and if you don't defeat him in the time that you get, then you're dead. And that's so exhilarating and intense. And yeah, he definitely was way too low on my boss ranking. And yeah, of course I made a ranking on this. Kind of like the abilities, check out my boss ranking just to see my whole opinion on these bosses. But other than that, thank you guys for watching this video. Next video will be about Partners in Time again, because why not, right? But other than that, make sure to subscribe so the Shroobs don't die, and I'll catch you in the next video.